Hey everyone, welcome to Tiny Studio Big Ideas podcast. My name is Vita Evenson, and today I'm going to be talking about stepping out of your comfort zone and pushing your creative boundaries. And, what's the purpose? For your artistic growth. Can't make any movement. You can stuck in the same patterns over and over and over and over. So here more that you can do, but I'm going to focus on these ones today. And your best friend for these tricks, these ideas of pushing beyond what you know, of stretching yourself out, of expanding yourself creatively, is your timer. So in all three of these practices that I'm going to be talking about, you're going to be using a timer. And the purpose of the timer, your best bud on the planet in your studio, is to push you and get you on the edge, to make you uncomfortable. Because only when we get uncomfortable that we're going to mess up, make mistakes, screw up the painting, that's when you can reach a place where you can explore other possibilities, a different elevation in your practice and in who you are, in your artistic abilities. So get your timer ready and let's dive into some ideas here. So the first thing that I like to do is change up my brushes. Our brushes can be a tool that we get really, really stuck into, and because it is the expression of the control that we have over our painting, over the brush strokes that we use for that painting. Our brushes are a vital part of that process. So get rid of the brushes that you normally use and try something outrageously different. So what we are going to do is set your timer for 20 minutes. You can go up to 30 minutes, but don't go beyond 30 minutes, even if you are a slow painter. The faster you are forced to move, the more you get shaken up. And you don't have to do it for very long. If it's only for 20 minutes, you can be uncomfortable for 20 minutes and just kind of let go and enjoy the process. So grab a completely different brush than what you would normally use. Bristle brush. I mean, come on, how are you going to paint a lemon, let's say, uh, with this big, huge brush? Just do it. Get out a small canvas, or take a canvas and use whatever you have and set the timer. Paint a lemon with a huge round bristle brush. Or you can try something else. Use the brushes that you normally use. Still, I would suggest changing it and getting a different style of brush, a different size, go much larger. Generally, that's what I'm telling most of my students who want to keep things really controlled and really clean. So I give them a big brush and say, let's try this. And the struggle is there. People want to have control of their brushwork, of their painting, of how this little painting is going to look. And we need to let go of that and just loosen up. So, grabbing a large brush, let's say, and painting a lemon or painting whatever it is that you're going to paint for that day, uh, setting the timer for 20 to 30 minutes and just going in and painting and doing what you can, turning the brush on its side, using the tips, just doing all sorts of different things to create this painting very quickly, very, very quickly, very, get messy. You don't need to have fine details and just see how that frees up your creative space. And when you let go of the areas that you have control, you encourage the spontaneity to occur. And it's another thing, spontaneity. Things don't just happen by accident, not in my world. Things will come to happen like spontaneous accidents that are usually a blessing because you are like, oh, cool. Did I just do that? How did that happen? But it's not something that just happened to you while you're in your studio with your little controlled environment. Your controlled environment, meaning in here in your creative space, and you're putting it out on your canvas. By opening up, setting a timer, pushing yourself, getting uncomfortable, you are inviting spontaneity and those sparks that can happen when you begin to let go. So change up your brushes, the size, the shapes. Just try a new brush, one that you hardly ever use, and see what happens. You might discover that it is very useful to you. Who knows? Uh, uh, the next um, the next thing to try is a completely different medium. So if you're an oil painter like me, where I have full control over my palette, over the paints, how to apply them, and I've gotten really comfortable with my oil paints. If I pull out the watercolors, I'm in trouble. Seriously, I am in trouble. I can't handle or control watercolors in any way. And, I come to believe that watercolors are not my medium, that I'm just not good at it, but that's not the case. It's just that I don't hardly ever use them, and I am in my oil painting routine. So the more I use my oil paints, the more control I get, the better I get at executing my intention, my desire for this particular painting. So I mean, if I did that with watercolors, I would get better and better and better and become adept at watercolors as well. So let's say you're an oil painter like me and you kind of stay away from the watercolor thing, get some watercolors and do a 20 to 30 minute quick painting using watercolors and just see what happens. Uh, you know, um, when you are trying to create a lemon, let's say a lemon or a landscape, like this one I'm working on back here, when you're trying to paint trees in another medium and it's just not working out, um, it can be very uncomfortable. And puts you again on the edge of what you can control and throws you into this chaotic space where spontaneity can happen, where creative inspiration can come through much more easily. So change up the medium. If you're a watercolor painter, right? Grab some oil paints and just see what happens. Don't do acrylics where you can water them down and use them like watercolors. You want to get thick. You want to get, impasto. You want to do the whole thing. And, it's a matter of learning to embrace the unpredictability of using a new medium. So the third one, which I do quite a bit more easily than the others, is change up what I am painting. Usually I'm doing representational work. So I may get out a canvas and get out my acrylics or oil paints, whatever it is that I'm using. I mean, I'm basically an oil painter, but when I do more non-representational work to acrylics for the ease of, drying fast and things like that. So that's another thing that you can do. Again, your best friend is your timer. Put the timer on, push yourself, move faster, make mistakes, get out of your comfort zone. That's the purpose of the timer. So in this respect, let's say you are a representational artist and you really like to create form. You really want it to look like a lemon or a tree or the sea, and you're trying to get it right. When you move into the abstract, where you're just throwing down colors and shapes and breaking free of the confines of creating form, it is very liberating to your inner, wanting everything to be in place and in order and controlled. So letting loose on the non-representational canvas and doing a 20 to 30 minute splash of color and just kind of exploring how to, or with massive confusion, personal experience, massive confusion of letting go of form, of letting go of a particular subject and how I'm supposed to represent it, and just releasing that. And, experimenting with shapes, with colors, and getting out of the binds and boundaries of form of a specific subject, and just letting it all go will bring quite a bit of growth. And, again, this is just for 20 or 30 minutes. So even if you're really not liking what you're doing, your timer is your best friend, because you know that shortly your time is up and you can stop what you're doing. And even if you really don't like what you've done, or it just feels static and uncomfortable, even that in a 20-minute session, when you put it aside, let it go, and you turn back to your style of painting, you will find that there is an openness. You are more refreshed. You are more you're comfortable because you're back in your space, but you've kind of expanded your boundaries a little bit. So those are my three suggestions. Change up your brushes, get rid of the typical brushes that you're always using, change the size, change the, from a hog bristle to a synthetic to, anything that will just uh, make things uncomfortable. Explore a different medium altogether. If you're an oil painter, go to watercolors. That's like, for me, the biggest thing. And if you're a watercolor artist, grab some oils and just do your painting. Again, 20 to 30 minutes. Your timer is your best friend. And then if you're a representational artist, do something non-representational, do something abstract, do something outrageous. Even just the expression of the anger you feel that you have to do this practice before you start painting and settling into your studio, paint that. Just blotch a bunch of stuff on a canvas and get it out. Just push beyond your known comfortable safety boundaries and just work it up a little bit. All right. Thank you all for listening on this podcast. And I fully invite feedback, your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's something you want me to discuss in these podcasts. And, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Be inspired, be creative, and be you.